From the Human Sciences Research Council that parts of southern Africa could be facing a hunger crisis because of massive crop failures. They say the El Nino weather phenomenon, which led to a very hot and very dry growing season, has led crops to fail in Malawi, Zambia and Zimbabwe. The El Nino system is now believed to have ended. The weather oscillation is now in what meteorologists call a neutral state. Dr. Rodney Managa is a senior research specialist at the Human Sciences Research Council, the HSRC. Dr. Managa, good afternoon to you. What has the impact of El Nino been across southern Africa? How bad is it?
Thank you, Stephen, and good afternoon to the viewers. Yes, you have indicated that some highlights that this El Nino that we are discussing, it actually affected the southern Africa. About 8 countries were severely affected, and out of those 8 countries, we have countries like Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, which, because of the high impact that they have faced, they also declare the state of national disaster. Because what we have seen or what we have observed is that this El Nino has caused a drought that in some places the dryness spell has stretched to over 30 days. And that was coincidence with the time that the farmers actually needed some rains, which has led to crop failures, dying of the livestock. And this has devastated the farmers because you will agree, Stephen, that when we're talking about the southern Africa countries like Malawi, Zimbabwe, and Zambia, the most of the population there, they relied on the agriculture as the source of livelihood or for their food. So if the farmers cannot able to produce, it's not only affecting their household, the income in terms of they selling the produce into the market, but also their household food security. And that was one of the key points that we have highlighted yesterday when we were having deliberation, that it's very concerning to find that the farmers themselves, they're also finding themselves also having food insecurity while they are expected to be feeding the other population.
I understand that we've probably grown enough maize to feed ourselves, but I presume other countries are going to need help, and probably quite a lot of help from ourselves and other places.
Yeah, indeed, Stephen. And I think the other good thing about the situation as compared to other droughts that we have faced in the region is that South Africa, although there are some parts that were affected, like some parts of the Northwest and Free State, but some parts of the country where we grow the maize were not that affected. But I think when I was just looking at some analysis reports, it indicated that we may have enough maize. Particularly because I think there will be a shortage of the white maize. We'll be having enough in South Africa, and then also to export to other regions as well. But where the problem is, Stephen, is on the issue of, like, if we are saying that we have to now export this maize to the other countries, they will also need the help in terms of the affordability, because I was looking at the prices of white maize that since this heat wave and the dry spell started, it has grown. They think the price has grown about 36% of that. So the prices have gone up. So that will be so difficult also for those people that also those countries that are devastated. That's why some countries already call for humanitarian help in terms of the aid, so that they can able to afford to get the food for their population.
This has been a very intense El Nino. Can I presume that climate change is one of the reasons why it's been so dry, so hot?
Yeah, thanks, Stephen, for that. Although this has, there is a broader debate that is going out there, that whether the climate change is directly involved in this El Nino than the ones that maybe we've seen in the past. But what you cannot able to deny is that the climate change with these natural disasters that we have, it can be either flood or the drought, it increases the frequency and the intensity. So I think just looking at how frequent these occasions are happening and the intensity, like in terms of like you said, in terms of the intense of this El Nino, one would say that pending the data that is still being analyzed, maybe the meteorological data that is still being analyzed, would say that climate change, one way to another, it has impact on this situation that we are finding ourselves. And that's why we are calling for the building the resilience of our food systems, and also finding the ways to mitigate the effect of this of the climate change in the farming sector.
I mean, obviously this means we're going to have to plan better. We're going to perhaps change the way that we farm. We also, in our country, we're kind of lucky in that we have different agricultural regions. We have different almost weather regions. We may have to make sure we use that effectively.
Yes, thank you, Stephen, for that, because, what we need now, it means that we cannot continue to farm the way we used to. We see that we cannot change the climate, but then we can change the systems that we are working with. So that this means that the way we do the farming, there are ways that we can make the farmers to be prepared, so that then when something like this happens, because I just indicated that now we are seeing more frequent of these crises like the drought, they are occurring more frequently. So that when they occur, then the farmers, then they are actually their system, their agricultural production itself, is also has some kind of resilience. And there are ways and strategies, Stephen, and these are some of the things that we were trying to put as a key intervention on the table, so that they can be adopted and also scaled up in terms of promoted by the regional policy. Do you have issues of climate smart agriculture technologies or practices that actually build resilience of the farmers while they are practicing their farming? Because what we have seen, especially in Southern Africa, is that most of the farmers, they rely on rain-fed agriculture. So we are calling that we need to supplement, we need to invest on the infrastructure, irrigation infrastructure. Although then we are not going to have like that full-scale irrigated agriculture for everyone, but at least when the times are tough like this, and then the farmers can able to supplement their rain-fed agriculture, so that they are not losing. The crop failure is not happening on the scale that we are experiencing now. And then there is also the other things that can make the farmers to also respond or recover after the drought like this, like the issues of the insurances as well. So these are some of the strategies that we are putting forward, but it needs the key stakeholders or different stakeholders to work together. So we need to address some of these things on the regional level. We know that we can do likely on the national level, also on the local level, but more policy coherence it needed on the regional level, so that we build the resilience of our food systems. And maybe just to highlight a little bit, Stephen, we did study in Zambia, which we have able to look at. We were looking at the way leveraging like the digital technology and climate smart agriculture to build the resilience and transform the food system. And I hope that some of the results as we are sharing them, they will able to have a positive impact in transforming our food system.
Dr. Rodney Managa, thank you, Senior Research Specialist at the Human Sciences Research Council.